strike group returns to the South China Sea for a second time this year. The U.S. 7th Fleet says the visit is part of its routine operations. But regional tensions are flaring because of China's reclamation of many areas and its use of maritime militia to enforce its illegal claims in the South China Sea. The U.S. considers the Philippines one of its strongest allies in the region, and these so-called Balikatan exercises allow both countries to conduct joint military and humanitarian exercises. They resumed this week after being cancelled last year because of the pandemic, but they've been toned down. That's because Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte canceled the visiting forces agreement between the two countries early last year after a political ally was denied a U.S. visa. But faced with widespread criticism and mounting public pressure, Duterte announced in November he was suspending that decision for 6 months. Duterte has declared since he took office nearly 5 years ago that he wants an independent foreign policy that is free from America's influence. And his so-called pivot towards China policy is seen by many here as an attempt to appease the country, but had come under attack.
By letting Beijing demean and abuse our country, the president is only signaling that we are weak, that we will not stand up for ourselves and our interests.
Despite weeks of public outrage, Duterte has remained silent over the occupation of the Whitsun Reef in the South China Sea by hundreds of Chinese military vessels.
The arrival of China's maritime militia and fishing fleet at Whitsun Reef, in my opinion, is designed to put pressure on Duterte, who equivocates on whether or not he's going to terminate the visiting forces agreement.
Last week, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke with his counterpart in the Philippines, Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, to discuss the situation. Austin proposed measures to deepen defense cooperation, but many here believe this will prove difficult unless the visiting forces agreement is fully restored. Jamela Alindogan, Al Jazeera, Manila.